Well, it looks like our second game has started, so we're going to go ahead and jump in this game and see what exactly is going to happen. Is HerO going to be able to take this 2-0? Someone who has something to say against that. In the top left of King Sejong Station from My Insanity, make some noise for Sacsri. And his opponent winning game number 1 in his own style and fashion. Make some noise for Liquid HerO.
You know, Blink Stalker is just about every Protoss' style these days. So
yeah.
You're very right there, Artosis.
Well, Blink Stalkers are pretty good. That Blink upgrade, it's pretty useful, pretty versatile.
Useful, pretty great on a lot of these maps, including King Sejong Station as well. It does have a place. Mostly against Terran, though. I don't think Zergs are really that too worried about the backdoor sort of situation.
No, that's a very dated build. I'd be quite surprised to see something like a 2 or 3 base Blink all in here.
Yeah, that would be weird. We're seeing a Forge fast expand once again here from HerO.
You know, against someone that's known for going for the hatchery in your natural, I think that this is a very nice opener.
Yeah, I completely agree with this opener. And it looks like Sacsri is going to go for it once again. HerO sees it, does not block with the probe there. So I don't know if that was a bit of a mistake there because he was sending a probe down. But at least at the very, very least here, he can put down a cannon the moment that Forge is finished. And he's down, the rest of the probes go as well.
Yeah, the exact same counter going on. Definitely HerO has put in some time studying Sacsri and figuring out exactly what this guy likes to do. And that's something that you need to do. You know, you and I were talking about this, and would everyone in the group know that Sacsri loves to offensive hatchery? Yeah. We weren't sure of it, but it seems clear everyone is taking this tournament extremely seriously.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a chance to win, you're going to have to research the styles and find what you can of each player. And it is pretty hard with a player like Sacsri, who hasn't been playing that many tournaments recently. So it's very, very smart of HerO to find a solution to this, and he's done a great in game 1, and game 2 he's got this under control once again.
Well, he is chasing down this drone. Oh, just barely blocks that hatchery.
So
very frustrating for Zerg.
Oh, I'm looking at this and I'm sweating, man. Oh, this is ruthless. And he finally gets down there, so good job to him. But, you know, he's delayed the Nexus. He actually gets the hatch down before the Nexus this time, which was not the case last game.
So a little bit better of a start here from Sacsri in some ways, but let's not forget there's no gold base on this map, and that definitely was a big part of last game because it was never even attacked. So you had non-stop gold income from the very beginning, which is quite strong.
It's extremely strong, and it definitely kept him in the game for a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's just about Sacsri kind of making that decision after he fended off the attack if he wanted to, you know, go for that third base again, kind of get ahead with that economy once again, instead going completely all in. And maybe Sacsri's kind of style. He loves to be hyper-aggressive, really.
Well, we'll see if that's going to work out from here. I feel like this is a map, though, that's pretty hard to be hyper-aggressive in ZVP on. I feel like
it's a lot harder.
Yeah, it's very easy to defend 2 bases and then 3 bases here as Protoss. There's not really like a lot of surface area for Zerg to get in and mix it up early on. So I think it'll be hard-pressed to end it early.
Look at this probe here. You know what? I'm thinking we might actually see another proxy Stargate or some kind of gateway timing. I mean, you could even do that at this point.
Yeah.
A pylon that close could do so much work, but we do see an Overlord going that way as well. He will scout it out, which is probably going to be his savior at this point.
Yeah, this is super, super important. If you actually don't let Protoss have a probe on the map in the early game of Protoss vs. Zerg, the amount of strategies that Protoss can do is like halved. You know, you have to feel so much more comfortable as a Zerg. You can't do like a gateway timing by walking across the map. It just takes too long.
Everything is completely slowed down. I mean, yeah, you're so much safer. And we haven't really seen Sacsri kind of go around the map, check for every position, every crook and nanny, and then find those pylons, those proxy pylons, which could be on the map, which could come to kill him at any point.
Well, his core right now is finishing up, so we'll be able to see what tech Liquid HerO is going to be going for. Is there anyone that you hate to play against on this map as a Zerg?
Anyone in particular?
Yeah.
I hate the kind of style, the defensive more style. The defensive Protoss that go for 3 base, kind of like Rain, I guess.
Yeah.
Who likes to go 3 base. It is so hard on this map because it is so easy to defend.
Yeah. You know, Protoss can really get a pretty insane death ball up off of those 3 bases as well.
That's all it takes is 6 gases, and they can make anything they want.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we'll see if he goes for that really quick third base. So far, not really showing us exactly. Oh, wait a minute. A robo, yeah.
Huh, okay. All right, we do see +1. Halfway done at this point. So I could kind of see this being a pretty early third base. +1 is always kind of an indicator of that, unless he's going to be very, very aggressive.
Well, he doesn't have additional gateways yet. Okay, he's just adding them now, so these would line up reasonably well with getting a warp prism out. You think we might see him go for something a little bit cheeky?
Yeah, you know what? I would like that. I would like that. Oh, there we go. Safety spores. You know, Sacsri doesn't know exactly what's going on here, so he's like, okay, I took a lot of damage last game. It's time to put some spores down. I really appreciate that kind of decision-making. He learned from last game, which was a big deal.
Well, let's see exactly what HerO's going to go for. I do think we'll see a warp prism right off the bat here. Oh, no, just straight into an observer.
Straight into observer.
Do you think there's any chance, because you were saying, you know, the early +1 oftentimes points towards a quick third base. Do you think that's a possibility here, that he'll still go for that despite a quick robo?
I'm guessing so here. It looks like he's kind of playing like, oh, he's adding 2 Stargates after this. Okay, and there's your warp prism, Artosis.
Okay, well, this is an odd build.
Huh, and he's getting armor as well.
Okay, so he's getting on 2 bases, 1/1, a prism, and 2 Stargates.
Right.
Not what I was expecting.
We don't normally see this kind of build.
Do we ever see this type of build?
No, we don't. It's so gas heavy that, man, it's like has to go perfectly, or there's going to be huge problems in the mid game for HerO.
Talking about how gas heavy it is, in fact, I'm trying to think of how this economy would work on 2 bases. I think it has to be like Phoenix Zealot, basically. Like, what else can you really afford?
Unless he's going for like the ancient style of mass void rays, yeah, I would have to say it'd be the Phoenix for sure. And it looks like he's going to go for the ramp, or maybe just some natural harassment with 2 sentries and a warp in here.
Well, he does get a pretty nice force field off to start. He's got to be careful not to lose his prism, though.
Yeah.
He does get it out of there. Really not a successful drop whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's trading a lot of Zerglings for these +1 zealots, which is kind of nice, but at the same time, it's not exactly the best trade, I agree. And he's kind of giving it away that he does have a warp prism on the map. It does have 2 sentries in it, so he has to be super careful of his ramp.
Yeah. You know what? To be honest, I would want to show the warp prism. If I'm going double Stargate Phoenix behind this, I want you doing things like making roaches. Yeah. You know, that's because if these Phoenixes don't actually get on the map and do a ton of work, they like harass really heavily and get damage done, you're just behind.
Yeah, I agree, actually. That makes a lot of sense. And we do see, I mean, Sacsri has no idea this many Phoenix are coming. And it looks like he is going to transition into Hydra. So it's going to be that Roach Hydra style, but there's going to be way too many Phoenix on the map for there to be any Hydras doing anything, really. There's simply nothing that Sacsri could do with this many Hydras being made.
Well, that is a lot of Hydras.
That is a lot of Hydras.
Well, you know what? There's still a lot of Phoenixes being made. And if I've learned anything from watching Myungshik Prime play, it's that if you have enough Phoenixes, you actually beat anti-air units sometimes.
Oh, yeah, man. There's been so many times where I've seen like all my Hydras get picked up, or at least half would get picked up by Phoenix, and everything just gets wiped out here. Because you kind of just, at a point, you'll need like fungal to help your Hydras.
Yeah.
I mean, there's simply, sometimes there's just too many Phoenixes, too much like disruption on the ground. Sometimes there's also Templar in the late game, which makes things even more ridiculous.
Well, right now we do have the Warp Prism going over towards this 4th base that Sacsri's trying to take. He's shown these the Phoenixes, so that's definitely an issue. He knows the Phoenixes are out. They kind of flew too close to the Hydras while they were near some Queens, so couldn't do anything quite yet.
So he's picking at the Hydra. He thinks he could take them, but yeah, that is a lot of Hydra.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it quite yet. I think like he could hurt the Hydras quite a bit, but he would lose his Phoenixes.
He's got to really find like reinforcements. He's got to pick off what he can, and he can't pick off a lot, man. It's going to take like 1 volley to kill like a Hydra anytime. So, and I love this warp in on the 4th base here. He's going to do a lot of damage for it. I don't think he... Oh, he's just going to cancel it. Okay.
Yeah, just straight up canceled. I guess his army is a little bit out of position here. In the meantime, we do have these Zerglings and a few Roaches trying to hit this natural. Actually, some Zerglings do get on top of these Immortals, but they will end up living. Yeah. Still a couple of force fields left, so he should be fine against this.
He should be fine. I didn't like that idea at all. I mean, they're +1 Zealots there, and that's nothing but Zerglings and a few Roaches. Never going to really do much damage there unless you get a full surround on the Immortals.
Right, so this is this is definitely the weirdest strategy of the day. Okay, yeah, we've had only one game of the day so far, but this strategy may end up being the weirdest one that we see all weekend.
It's completely weird, man. I don't often see strategies like this, and I kind of like it though. It is a very, very hard thing to fight against if you're not used to it, for sure. And I mean, we see Infestation Pit going down, and we also see +1 air units being upgraded, so we could see that Corruptors perhaps added in as well. And these Phoenix can just wreak so much havoc. Those 5 Hydras on the ground could get picked off if there's no Spore Crawler nearby. There's so much damage can be done with Phoenix.
Yeah, he's got just so many of them too. 14 flying around in the air right now, so kind of crazy. He's going to continue to pick off quite a bit with that nice range on those Phoenixes. But this is all he's doing. He's like kind of stalling out and doing little bits of damage, whereas the army of Sacsri is getting kind of out of control as far as its power.
Yeah, it is getting absolutely huge, and he's just adding nothing but Hydras at this point. And finally, we see the first Colossi being made with Colossi range. This is going to have to come out pretty damn fast. He's going to need multiple Colossi to fight this army. And if he does get multiple Colossi, he can fight this army pretty convincingly.
But that's the thing. He spent so much gas on the Phoenixes. This is really slow, and this is going to be a maxed army very shortly from Sacsri walking across the map. And he's going to have like maximum splash damage of 1 Colossi when this hits, I think. So I don't know if it's possible to even hold this.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of questioning this. It's kind of weird too, because we're seeing Zealot Charge kind of being upgraded still, and with this kind of style, you often see like a lot of Zealot with Charge and upgrades being made very, very early on here. It's like one of the first things you get. And here we go! Sacsri just going straight to the natural here, completely uncontested.
Yeah, look at that. He's out of position here. HerO is. He does have Force Field, so he should be able to stem this off for now, but this is a lot of damage being dealt, losing quite a few buildings. The Hydra's still pushing forward. He needs more Force Fields, but it looks like he just doesn't have enough sentries.
Yeah, just not enough sentries for this kind of army, and he's warping in more and more Zealots. These Phoenix are actually going to shine at this point. Here we go. This is why you have this many Phoenix against Hydra, because you can pick them up and kill them in seconds.
Wow, look at those Phoenixes just crushing through the Zerg line, and suddenly the supply completely reversed. 127 to 128, a huge game lead for HerO at least.
Yeah, massive, massive commitment there from Sacsri, and like he just didn't have enough, and I feel like if you're going to fight against this many Phoenix, maybe you want to get those Infestors pretty soon before you commit. Maybe Corruptors, something to help out. And now we see Phoenix kind of dominate. There's not enough Hydras to really deal with this count.
Yeah, to get your Hydra count back up to what it was during that attack is going to be very difficult indeed, especially these Phoenixes across the map, killing things off. A little bit sloppy there, but still, you know, these Phoenixes have already done their job.
They've done their duty at this point, and we see Colossi on the way. Third one being made now. He just needs a Colossi count at this point, plus a big gateway army to just roll over everything else.
Well, he's flying around, still picking off a few Hydras here and there. The Hydra's trying to chase him around, but now we have this situation where we have a layer tech Zerg just kind of walking around, trying to expand against a Protoss who's going to be on 4 bases with plenty of Colossus, good upgrades, and a giant Phoenix force. I'm not even sure what Sacsri's supposed to do from here.
Well, it looks like he is going into Viper, so he's going to go that Hydra Rouge Viper timing. He snuck in Hive Tech while he was attacking there. But like, I mean, even that, there's Phoenix already to deal with the Vipers. Like, that's actually going to be a big problem as well. Abduct's going to be very, very hard if these Phoenix are on the map. They can kill Vipers very, very quickly. And even if you do get the Abducts, there's going to be such a massive army from HerO.
And it's going to be a massive army that includes, well, it looks like Psystorm on the way, but also Charged Zealots. They already have an armor. They're going to have +3.
Yeah, he has Templar, you know. Feedback, a huge, huge problem for Vipers as well, until you get Swarmers to kind of zone them out and then reset the game. Like, it's going to be such a huge, huge hurdle for Sacsri, and now we see Swarmers being made.
Well, I think that's the right tech route here, to be honest. The Vipers didn't feel right. I think if you're going to go Vipers, it has to be a very quick Viper push.
It's always a very, very quick push here. Like, it's unheard of to go for like 20-minute Viper timings, because there's going to be Templar out in spades, and they're going to destroy you.
But, you know, going for these Swarm Hosts, if you take up a very defensive position, those Vipers will be very useful in that long game situation. So if he goes for that, I like it. But I feel like if he even attacks one time, the game is just over.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he'll be gearing up for a timing at any time soon here. There's simply not enough Swarm Hosts on the map. And these Phoenix see absolutely everything. They see this kind of tech route he's going. He's making static defense. He's like, okay. He's obviously buckling down. He wants to take this to the late game. He kind of wants to reset the army, like compositions here, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be very, very I think it's a very, very hard position for Sacsri.
Well, we'll see if he can do it, man. Swarm hosts definitely have pulled a few Zergs out of the grave, so.
It's true. It's very, very true. But Protoss are very, very good at dealing with this now. And I mean, I look at this army.
It's so good.
They can actually just bulldoze through Swarm hosts at this point. That's enough Colossi. That's a lot of Storm. And with the Warp Prism, you're always going to have enough reinforcements to keep the max.
If you could promise me that army and 4 bases on 20 minutes every game, I would take that deal. It looks very nice. Still has Phoenixes around the map. HerO looks robust in this position, and he's maxed out, and Sacsri isn't. Yeah,
he's going to be very careful, though. He cannot get too many Colossi abducted here. He does have Blink, so he can save these Stalkers if he wants to. And he's going to get rid of the hatchery here. And here comes the first abduct. Nope. Feedback, doing work here. Looks like he will get 1 Colossi there, but there's not many Vipers either with this army.
Looks like he'll just lose his base, and you know, obviously that's bad.
Ooh.
But oh, this is a nice little run by with the Zealots.
Yeah, you know what? This is actually enough to really put pressure on a hatchery as well. It's definitely enough to kill a hatchery that isn't defended for like 10 seconds.
Well, it looks like he will be able to hold that off, but oh wow, he actually never finished off that hatchery. That hatchery was very low.
That's actually a big mistake.
47 hit
dude.
point hype.
Yeah. No, you did not say that, but as we do that, it's going up the mid here. It looks like HerO just wants to bulldoze through this. Wow. And I mean, look at what we have here. There's simply not enough for Sacsri.
Well, with these size storms and this many Colossus, man, he is going to be able to bust his center position. And with this, the game looks almost completely lost for Sacsri. He's going to go down to 3 bases. Sure, he has Swarmos, he has quite a bit of supply, but HerO's in a fantastic spot, even taking his 5th base.
Yeah, now HerO cannot overcommit against Swarmos either, because we have seen Zergs come back, just destroying the death ball of a Protoss. Who overcommits against Swarmos? More Locusts are out here. I think at this point, HerO should get back Remax, remake those Colossi, get more Templar, and then just come again and destroy, because he just killed 2 bases.
Yeah, this is a pulled back moment. I know a lot of people are like, well, just go kill him. No. You pull back, you're ahead, get more ahead, get your units together.
Get more ahead,
fix your composition a little bit, and then he has 0% to win. So
absolutely.
This is very hard to climb out of from Sacsri.
He does have a lot of Swarm hosts, though. 17 Swarm hosts. That is a sick number of Swarm. That's such a big commitment here that we might even see HerO kind of like, if he identified how much of a commitment those Swarm hosts are, he might want to just go around and try bypass them. Maybe go into Tempest, you know. Go for the later game, the more robust composition that can fight that ridiculous late game where Zerg are just massing static defense with the Swarm hosts and Vipers. But these DTs are also such a great use at this point.
Yeah, look at that. They're going to pick off this Spore, be able to kill quite a few drones. You know, he just keeps getting ahead in every single way. So I kind of like the fact he's adding a second Robo as opposed to going into Tempest. I feel like if you go into Tempest, the game might go like really, really, really long.
Yeah,
whereas with the second Robo going Colossi, when you already have a lead like this, you probably can just bludgeon him to death with one big attack.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that wants to be his plan. He just wants to keep the pressure on him, keep attacking here. And a great warp into the main. There's no static defense in the main. He has to rely on his Hydras to chase this down, which is going to put him out of position here for the main army of HerO to go to that 4th base again and deal with it.
He is walking right around, has these Void Rays mixed in as well. Definitely can pick off that hatchery with some speed. Even blinks down to make sure he can pick it off.
Well, he knows exactly where that Hydra army is. He can take this down and just get out, recall out if he wants to. I think he's going to be completely safe. Locusts aren't going to do much from the low ground. He can blink these up at any point.
And in fact, he does pick it off. Very few units lost here. Going to be able to pull back and be completely safe. At this point, as Sacsri, would you consider just going to the other side of the map to expand despite no creep spread?
There's no reason not to. Like, even if it's like by itself, it's a risk, but it's like a healthy risk, because if it goes up, you put Spines down there and you got another base for free, simply because HerO didn't check it.
You know, they say variety is the spice of life. Maybe it's time to try another expansion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And look at these Vipers, kind of out of position here. If we actually saw an aggressive blink, he could have got rid of a couple there. And, I mean, he's trying his best to get those Colossi, but getting completely zoned out. But at the same time, HerO has to be careful. He's in the middle of a Swarm host, like Zerg of Swarm hosts, like 17 Swarm hosts. He cannot overcommit with this many Colossi.
And in fact, he's losing quite a few Colossi there.
This should not be happening. This is not okay. He should have just gone home at this point. But he really wants to kill Sacsri.
Well, right now he is picking off a lot of these Swarm with such expensive units, and they are not going to be able to get out of there. So that is a pretty big victory, despite losing quite a few units there for HerO.
Yep, still maintaining the supply lead. He's up, about 30 supply at this point, not doing too bad. But still, there's still enough Swarmos to wipe out the rest of this army, and he needs to maintain it and just rebuild that Death Ball and attack again. He's wiped out the main though, and he's getting rid of both spies, which is very, very important.
In fact, right now, he's even getting range and more Phoenixes. Well, I guess at this point, HerO can choose however he wants to kill his opponent.
It seems that way, doesn't it? Looks like he's even getting Phoenix range. Like, I think maybe he saw the 2 spies, and he's like, maybe you have a lot of meter on the map, maybe?
It's like, where's your units, bro?
Yeah, I guess they're muted somewhere. I don't know. But why not, be safe.
I like that type of approach. When it seems like there's no way you can lose, think of the most outrageous thing that could happen that you'd be surprised to lose to.
Yeah.
And prepare for it.
Phoenix is good against everything that Sacsri's going to make. Because Sacsri cannot make much of anything at this point. He's lost so many bases. So it kind of works. I kind of agree with it as well.
Yeah, a lot is good versus a little, no doubt about that. Well, he is making more Swarm hosts right now, so it looks like he wants to go back into that turtley game, and really that's his only chance to come back here. It's not like he can afford to go into higher tech units like Broodlords or Ultralists or anything like that.
Yeah.
Definitely a Roach Hydra Viper army isn't going to do anything.
Completely useless, and he can actually kill this lair if he decides to attack it. At the same time, going for that mid base once again, he's going to try and bully it down. You definitely can tell when they're going to bully when you see Storms commit to Locust, because he wants to get rid of them. He wants to get on top of those Swarm hosts. But great kill there of the rocks.
Yeah, some great yoinks, really, killing off 2 Colossus. So, that's the type of move he needs to do. But this never-ending harassment is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's just whittling him down from every edge.
Yeah, completely. Absolutely. And I'm sure we're going to see HerO kind of rotate to the right side again, get rid of that 4th base once again, and just keep him maybe on that 1 base in the middle that's actually very, very hard to commit to.
Well, he does continue to kill off all of these Zealots, but HerO still at a much higher supply lead. In fact, starting a long-distance mine from another base. Do you think there's any chance that Sacsri actually ends up pulling back now that he's lost his main, his natural, and he's really only mining from 1 base?
I mean, I think it's going to be up to HerO to make the mistake. It's going to be up to HerO to overcommit and lose his Death Ball, because the supplies aren't that different.
Yeah,
there are a lot of Swarm hosts, and there's Vipers there, which are going to make a big, big problem for the Colossi to safely kind of deal with them. But I mean, getting this army caught out of position here is not a good thing at all. Not a good start there for Sacsri.
Certainly not. In fact, Sacsri right now just getting Enduring Locusts, and that kind of goes to show we didn't even notice that because the Locusts are dying so quickly. You can't even tell. So.
Yeah, I mean, every chance HerO has, he's just destroying them anyway. So you could never tell that. But wow, that is one big miss.
Yeah. Well, 7 Infestors on the way, and Infestor's still a very good unit despite what people may think. Could help him out quite a bit. You have Viper, Swarm Host, Infestor, and plus a bunch of Static D. If Protoss doesn't expertly attack that, you can actually break their army.
You will break their army with Fungal Blinding Cloud. There's nothing the Protoss can do. They will lose everything to the Locust.
That's the Wombo combo in StarCraft 2 right there.
It is. It actually is. It's so destructive. And, well, it's going to be up to Sacsri to make it happen. I think that's exactly what he's going for as well.
Well, I like it. I think he's being really scrappy right now. He's trying to figure out, okay, I know this is tough. I know I'm probably dead, but what's one way that I could theoretically win if HerO makes a misstep? And he's chosen that way. So we'll see if it works out for him. I mean, he's still holding on, but HerO's doing a great job moving his army around the map and being in places that Sacsri's army is not. Yeah,
he's really going to have to rely on that recall ability multiple times, I think, to really whittle down what he can and get out alive. Because he's going to have to put himself in deep in creep. And it's always going to be a problem against Locusts and Fungal and Vipers. This is all going to happen very, very quickly here. But here we go. Well, HerO is deep here.
Should be able to kill that off once again. Oh, counterattack over here. He will actually be able to kill off this Nexus without any trouble whatsoever. And oh my god, those are some big pulls right there on those Colossus. In fact, 2 of them going down.
No.
May be able to pick off this mothership, but not a lot of anti-air to speak of.
Yeah, I mean, the Spore Call is just planted in time here. He's going to try and recall out. He gets that alive. Wow. Okay. HerO barely keeps that alive. And I mean, this counterattack from Sacsri is doing work. But
yeah,
he might
in fact, he can kill off these Zealots and
can
maybe
kill
even
the
grab the
mothership.
mothership.
Yeah.
That's a big kill, too, because as you said, you know, their supplies are still pretty close, and the bank of HerO isn't that big.
They're getting closer and closer to even supply at this point. Mothership core running for its life here. And yeah, we see Sacsri deep in the natural here. And there's only Stalkers and Phoenix finally to help clean this up.
Those Phoenix is going to do some great work. There's just not enough anti-air here to do anything about it. So finally kills that off. Unfortunately, didn't get that very expensive mothership, though.
Yeah, that would be a key target for sure. But, you know, not bad at all for Sacsri. But at the same time, he is down 40 supply at this point. I think we saw some damage at that fourth base that we didn't get a look at until the end. Just about no drones left at that base, which is actually a massive problem as well.
Yeah, that's pretty tough, man. He's got 23 drones to speak of at the moment. We do have 4 Tempests on the way, so it looks like HerO's decided, okay, the double robo thing, Artosis, that didn't work out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, go for the Tempest. Well, all Protoss know you can in the long game kill a Zerg with a lot of Tempests.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot longer here, but I mean, the double robo did help out with eliminating just about every other base on the map for Sacsri. So, you know, I think it's a good idea considering Sacsri's kind of banking everything on this middle base. He's like, okay, I've got to just static defense and just keep my swarm host and look for something here. Did he not finish?
Thank you, In Control.
Thank you, In Control.
Guest casting. Well, you know, I feel like what I'm watching right now is Sacsri finding out that he's one of the best tower defense players in the whole world.
Yeah.
Okay, he's holding on to that center. These side bases, no, he's not quite able to do anything with them at the moment. Doesn't have enough anti-air. And especially with this big switch to air from HerO, that's going to become a bigger problem.
I think it's actually just going to be the killing blow at this point. Look at the supply difference now. 73 supply difference. That is insane for a Protoss to have that kind of advantage over a Zerg. But that kind of goes to show like how much of an advantage, positional advantage you have in that mid base on the high ground with swarm hosts. It's so hard to break into that HerO doesn't want to commit until he's got like the units that are actually going to do it safely.
Yeah, and Tempest is exactly that unit. He's going to outrange absolutely everything. As long as he watches out for abducts, he's going to be all right.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And you know what? We're starting to see Sacsri move out of the map, especially with this Roach counterattack at the same time. These Locusts are going into the mid base of HerO.
Some nice micro-air by Sacsri, trying to get as much value out of these Roaches as he possibly can, but realizes that big ground army is something he definitely can't face.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also got a lot of fungals here, and a great fungal.
Yeah, this is a nice fungal. If he just fungals a couple more times, those will all go down. The Locust doing some great work here, damaged him quite a bit. He needs some more fungals, though, here.
Yeah, he does. But he's going to clean them up by the looks of things. So, you know, nice little victory there, but considering the income of HerO, considering how much the supply lead is of HerO, he hasn't really shown, like, the main core of his army, and here it is now. But, oh, he's got to look out for these Templars. Thank God they run out of energy, time before they actually kill everything.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty big kill for him right there.
Yeah,
but
that would have helped out.
You're right, Moonglade. He hasn't really shown his Tempest count. In fact, he's making 4 more, and he's already got 8 of them. So that's going to be 12 Tempests, some Void Rays, plenty of Phoenixes. Just devastation for Sacsri.
Complete devastation. It's when HerO finally decides to move out of the map, he will be able to just crush it. Just a matter of time here. And you know, HerO constantly taking these counterattacks, he's delaying his extra base to the right there, but he doesn't really need it at this point, and he's expanding to one of Sacsri's bases to the far left. Why not at this point?
Yeah, he may as well. You know, Sacsri can't attack everywhere with these Locusts. They really work well when they're in a clump together. So.
Looking for the feedback, and great storm there, going to get rid of the infested Terrans.
It got cancelled.
Yeah, very well done. And it looks like he will chase him back. Archon morphing at the moment. Even an Oracle on the way for that added detection and tagging.
Yeah, looking good there. Looking good indeed. I mean, still maintaining that huge supply lead. It's just up to HerO now. I think he's done enough harassment at this point, and we see Sacsri on 2 base, so HerO can kind of safely assume he has enough to kind of steamroll.
It's time to go kill him. I mean, he's just about maxed out at this point, and what are you going to do for the... Oh, my God. Oh.
I like this because I think we're all thinking at this point, it's about time.
Massive Manor Nexus. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a Nexus cannon push.
At the very least, you know what? He's going to have a 6th city in the middle of the map to hide behind with his Templars and
That's
Templar.
right, yeah.
That's exactly what he's going for.
If there's a switch into Ultras, that's not going to work.
Oh, it's going to be horrible.
Well, this is the last stand of Sacsri right here.
GG.
And that's it. GG. HerO.